Hello guys, trust you're doing fantastic. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the basic device configuration. By default, all devices are assigned a factory default name, e.g. a Cisco IOS switch is called a switch with a capital letter S. However, we could give such devices a unique host name. At the global configuration mode, we can use the hostname command and give our devices another name of our choice. Note, hash means the unique name you want to assign, e.g. S1. Now, this is a snippet of how the code looks like. Now you have the user exit mode of the switch. You gain access into the privilege exit mode using the enable command. And then from the privilege exit mode, you use the configure terminal command to gain access into the global configuration mode of the switch, where you can change the name of the switch. All right, this is the only mode where this can be done. It's in the global configuration mode. And then you can see the name. To change the name, we have to use the command host name. And then we have to leave a space and then supply the argument, which is S1, which is determined by you, whichever name you want to give. It's an argument. And then once you do that, you can change the name of the switch. We can see that the name has changed to S1. Now, take note, to return the switch to the default prompt or the default name, you can use the command no host name in the same global configuration mode. So this is known, every command in the global configuration mode is regarded as a global config command. All right, so let's quickly implement this so that you can have a good feel on how this works. All right, so the first thing we need to do is to get into the Packet Tracer environment. All right, this is the workspace. So we need to select the end devices. So we need to select our PC into the workspace. We need to select the network device. So let's go for switch. So let's pick one of the switches. Then the next thing we need to do is let's connect the devices together. So let's use the automatically chosen connection. So this is just to make your connection very fast. If you're not sure which cable you're supposed to use to connect devices that are not the same, that are not similar, so you can choose this, go directly to the PC. Okay, connect to the switch. All right, so this is automatically going to determine which cable you should use. And then we want to connect a console, okay, from the PC using the serial port connected to the switch on the console port of the RJ45 connector. All right, so we choose this, then that is done. Now, why we're using the console port is because we want to access the switch from the PC. All right, so once this is done, let's go straight into configuring some basic things. Now, we want to change the name of the switch. So let's click on the PC. So let's click on the PC and then let's go to the desktop tab. Then let's go over to the terminal because we want to access the switch. You click on it and then accept all settings. Click on OK, and then it brings you to this point. So click on your return key or your enter key. It takes you straight to the user mode of the switch. Okay, so this is the user exit mode of the switch. At this point, we need to gain access into the privilege exit mode of the switch. We need to use the short abbreviated command, which is enable en. Press enter. We are in the privilege exit mode of the switch. So at this point, we need to use the config T, which is configure terminal, the short form for configure terminal. Press on the enter key. It takes us to the global configuration mode. of the switch. So at this point, we can configure the name of the switch. We can change the name of the switch. So let's do that using the command host name. So what name do we want to give to the switch is S1. So capital letter S, let's call it S1. Remember, there's a space and this is an argument. Okay, remember I said I'm going to explain all of this to you. This is the prompt. All right, the prompt that tells us we are in the global configuration mode. And then this is the command, which is the inbuilt function. And then we need to create a space, and then we need to supply our argument. Argument depends on the user, either the keywords or argument. But in this case, this is an argument because we have chosen the name of the switch by ourselves. Okay, so now click on the enter key. Now you can see the name of the switch has changed to S1. All right, so now we can also return the name back to the default name. Okay, so we're going to use this command, very easy, no host name. Now if you see what is going to happen, it's going to return the name back. It's going to take the name back to the default setting. You can see the name has changed back to the default setting. Right, so this is pretty very easy, simple, and straightforward. All right, so let's go back to the PPT and see what next we need to do. All right, so the PPT says the basic switch configuration. The next point of agenda in this topic is the password configuration. So we need to configure password. So let's see what we need to do. Now we need to secure the user exec mode access. Now first, we need to enter the line configuration mode using the line console 0 command from the global configuration mode. Now, because we're securing the line, the access to the switch, remember, we access the switch using the computer, the PC. So therefore, we have to secure that line, which is the line console. That's the first thing we need to do. Next, we need to specify the user exec mode password using the password command. All right, we need to enter into the line first and foremost. We need to specify the password. We need to use the password command and also to apply the argument, the password we want to set. And then finally, we need to enable the user access using the login command. What this means is that we need to use the command login to activate, to make the password that we have created active, such that when we want to gain access into the switch through the console, we'll be prompted to supply the password before we can gain access. All right, so this is a snippet of how the code looks like, what you're supposed to do, and then we are also going to secure the privilege exec mode access as well. And the first thing we're going to do, we're going to enter the global configuration mode, because all this is going to be done in the global configuration mode. And then we're going to use the enable secret password command. In this case, it's going to create a secret password. All right. So what we're going to do in this case, we're going to create name for the password. All right. So we're going to use enable secret. We're going to use the word class. All right. So class will be used to create a password. All right, for the privilege exit mode. And then we're going to use exit, get out of the global configuration mode. So let's quickly go to the code and do all of this. All right, so let's exit this part. So it takes us to the privilege exit mode of the switch. So from this point, let's get into the global configuration mode of the switch. So once we're here, we need to gain access into the line configuration, which is the line console 0, the line configuration mode of the switch. So we've gotten to this part, so it means we need to set password. We need to use the command enable. So we have to use enable password. So in this case, what password do we want to create? So we're going to say enable password Cisco. Okay, we're going to use enable password Cisco. So once we do that, we're going to activate it. So once you activate it, that is done. We're going to use login function to activate it. Then we need to exit. All right, so this takes us to the global configuration mode. Now at this point, we can go ahead to enable the password for, we can secure the password for the privileged exit mode using the enable secret class password. Okay, enable secret, and then we use class as a password. So we can go straight away to say enable secret. Then we can set the argument to be class, which is the password, okay, to secure the privileged exit mode. Then we can exit. So let's exit the switch, and then let's try to access it. It's asking for password, so this is going to be Cisco, and then let's access the privileged exit mode using enable. It's asking for password, so let's say the password is class. Good. So we have secured both the user exit mode and the privileged exit mode using password. So let's see what next we need to do. All right, so on the basic device configuration, the next task is to configure the password to secure the VTY line access. Now, first we need to enter the VTY line configuration mode using the line VT0 to 15 command in the global configuration mode. All right, so we're going to enter into the line configuration mode to do this. Now, next, we need to specify the VT password using the password command. Finally, we enable the VT access using the login command. All right, so this is what we're going to have. It's going to be similar to what we did for the user exit. Note, the VT line enable remote access using secure shell of the telnet to the device. Most of the Cisco switches support up to 16 VTY line number at 0 to 15. So let's quickly do this, exactly what we did for the user exit. But this time around, we're going to be doing it in the line configuration mode of the switch. So let's go back to our packet tracer. Let's enter into the global configuration first. And then from this part, we can enter into the line configuration. Okay, we can enter into the line VTY 015. This is the line interface. Just like we have the line console, we can also enter into the line VTY. So at this point, we need to use the password, just like we did password. So let's set this to the same. Let's say Cisco. Let's use Cisco as well. All right, so let's use the login function to set it active, to make the password active. Trying to activate it. Login. Then let's exit. All right, so that is done. All right, so let's see the next task on the basic device configuration, which is encrypt password. So what does that mean? Now we're going to use a service password encryption, which is a global config command to encrypt all plain text password. All right, so we're going to use the show run config command to verify that the password on the device are now encrypted. But before we do that, I need to show you that the password that we have created are all in plain text, which doesn't make it safe anyway. It means it's going to pose a great risk of accidentally gain access into the system, can actually see all those passwords. So we have to encrypt all of the password we have created, and even in the future password as well. So we're going to use the service password encryption command to do this. So we're going to do this in the global configuration mode, meaning that if you do this at the global configuration mode, it's going to secure every password we have created. This is how it's going to look like, something like this. It's going to encrypt all the password. It's going to make it look strange. Okay, so let's go straight into our packet tracer and execute this. Let's encrypt all the password that we have created. All right, so the first thing I need to do is to go back to the packet tracer. So at this point, before we encrypt the password we have created, I need to show you how the password looks like. All right, so let's take a step backward. Let's go to the privilege exit mode. Let's use the exit command. All right, so this will take us to the privilege exit mode. So at this point, let's use the command show run. Now, show run is a command that shows us the current configuration file. It means the configuration that we have done, it should display all configurations, all the settings we have done. Okay, so it's going to show everything to us. So let's click on enter key. All right, you can see Now the secret password we created, this is how it looks like. This is how it looks like. And remember, we also created a password for the privilege exit mode, which is a Cisco. All right. Now, if you notice, we have no service password encryption. It means none of the password has been encrypted. We did not encrypt any password. You can see it says no service. All right. So let's get more information. Now we have a total of, we have interface fast Ethernet from 1 up to, let's see how many we have. We have up to 24. And then we have the interface gigabyte Ethernet just 2. We have the line console. The line console 0, we created a password that as well, which is the console line called Cisco. You can see the password is in plain text. It means anybody can see this password and then use it to gain access into the system. All right. And then we also created the password for the VTY from 0 to 15. All right, which is Cisco as well. So let's get more information. All right, so we created the password for it. It's Cisco. Now you can see all of these password are in plain text. So all we need to do at this point, we want to encrypt all of this password. All right, so all we need to do is to get into the global configuration mode. So we use the command. All right, so at this point, we can set the password using service password hyphen encryption. All right, once we do the service password encryption, once that is correct, once there's no error, it doesn't return any error, it means what we have done is perfect. So at this stage, all we need to do is to go back, use the command exit. We go back to the privilege exit mode. So at this point, we can check. Let's use the show run command to view all our configuration. All right, so we can see at this point that we have service password encryption. It means we have encrypted all our password. You can see enable password used to be Cisco, but now it's been encrypted. Then let's check the other ones. You can see the line console password used to be Cisco. It's been encrypted. One used to be class, the other one is Cisco. This is also encrypted. And then the VTY line is also encrypted. Both from 0 to 4 is encrypted, 5 to 15 is encrypted. So this is how we encrypt our password. Let's see what we have. But okay, on the basic device configuration, the next task is the banner message. Now, a banner message warns unauthorized personnel from attempting to access the device. Now, to create banner message of the day, MOT, on a network device, we use the banner MOT command. All right, so the hash, the message of the day, is placed within the 2 hash sign. Now, because we're going to do this in the global configuration mode, therefore it's called the global config command. So note the hash is the delimiting character. It is entered before and after the message. So this is how it looks like. Syntax. So we're going to implement this right away. Okay, let's go straight to our packet tracer. Let's implement this. So let's go straight into the global configuration. Now we're going to use the command banner MOTD. We're going to use the delimiting character, which is the hash. We're going to authorize. So this is the message we want to display every time a user tries to attempt the first attempt. Anytime user tries to attempt the switch, you're going to get a banner message warning unauthorized persons who do not have the authorization to access the system, right? To authorized persons only. Enter. So once this is done, all we need to do is to use the exit key, okay? And then we exit. Now let's see what we have done using the show run command. All right, so let's see what we have. Okay, it says that we have set the banner message MOT, which is authorized persons only. So you can see now, where is this message going to be displayed? Now, have you thought of it? It's going to be displayed anytime we log out of the switch, we go out of the switch, we exit the switch, and we want to enter the switch from the first time, it's going to prompt. Of course, it's going to be there to warn any unauthorized access to the system. All right, so let's go out of the switch. All right, let's exit the switch. All right, so we've exited the switch. Let's try to gain access. Now you can see it says authorized persons only. So this is the banner MOT. Warning, persons without authorization not to access the system. So this is it. So let's get access into the system. It's Cisco. So let's use the enable command. Let's gain access into the, what could be the password? Oh, it's class. All right, so we'll gain access into the switch. So you can see how we're able to set the banner MOT. All right, that wants unauthorization into the system. All right, so let's go over to the PPT and see if we'll have any other tags. All right, so one more task we need to do. Let me inform you. Now, it is very important to know that all of the configuration we have done has not been saved into the NVRAM, which is the non-volatile random access memory. So it means if anything happens, the system shuts down, it means every configuration we have done is going to be lost. So it is important that we copy all of this configuration into the NVRAM. All right, so for we to do that, we have to use the command. Okay, so we're going to do that in the global configuration mode. So let's go into the global configuration mode. All right, so at this point, we need to copy. It means let's save. Okay, we're going to use the command copy. Okay, so this is the command. We're going to copy everything we have configured. Everything we have configured is in running config. So we're going to configure everything we have in the running config to the startup. Okay, so the startup config. So the startup config, we're going to do that. But then before I do this, let me show you something very interesting. Now, for we to access the configuration, the file that we have on the NVRAM, we have to use this command show. So let me explain something very interesting before we copy save into the NVRAM. Now, for we to display, this command is used to display all the file that has been saved in the NVRAM. Now, if you run the command show startup config, we're going to get a message. Let's take a step backward, exit. Okay, so show. Now we can only perform this command in the privileged exit mode. Show startup config. Now it's going to give us a message stating that startup config is not present. It means that we have not saved all our configuration in the NVRAM. That is what it means. Now, once you do that and run this code again, you're going to notice it's going to display the information. It means the information has been saved. All changes has been saved permanently. Even if the system goes off, the information is not going to be lost. This command should be done in the privileged exit mode. So you're going to have copy running config. Okay, copy running config space startup config. It means we're going to copy all we have here in the running config to the startup config. Now it's stating that destination file startup config. Yes, this is the destination file. Press the enter key once more. It's going to tell you okay. All right, so this is pretty easy. So let's show what we have. So now let's use the command. Remember the previous command we used that says that there is nothing present. Now let's use the same command, show startup config, after we have copied the running config to the startup config. So let's see, it's going to give us information that we have done. So let's press enter key. So you can see, we can see the same information we used to see using the show running config. It means all the changes we have done are all saved in the NVRAM. All right. So If you have watched this video up to this point, it means you have gained significant knowledge when it comes to Cisco Packet Tracer. All right, so I'm going to encourage you to pay attention to the subsequent videos in this channel. All right then, enjoy this video. Bye.